Welcome to Beyond Tech Hype, the channel where we cut through the noise, expose the illusions, and reclaim engineered clarity. Here, we don't just repeat spec sheets or marketing slogans. We map volatility, dissect hype, and reveal the truth behind the tech and lifestyle symbols that shape our world. If you're tired of fuzzy narratives and want sharp, honest dialogue about what really matters, you're in the right place. Today's episode: torque versus horsepower, muscle versus speed, engineering brilliance versus showroom confusion, and why billions in R&D often get reduced to a single spec that neither salespeople nor buyers truly understand. Car manufacturers spend billions of dollars every year on engine research and development. Teams of engineers work tirelessly to squeeze out efficiency, refine torque curves, and balance horsepower ratings. They run simulations, test prototypes, and push the limits of combustion, hybrid, and electric drivetrains. But here's the irony. By the time all that engineering brilliance reaches the showroom floor, the conversation collapses into one word: horsepower. Salespeople throw out numbers like 300 horsepower, 400 horsepower, 500 horsepower. Buyers nod politely, maybe even feel impressed. But if you asked them what horsepower actually means, 9 out of 10 wouldn't be able to explain it. Instead, they'll ask about the sound system. Does it have Bose? Does it have Apple CarPlay? How big is the screen? This disconnect is exactly what we're going to unpack today. Torque versus horsepower, muscle versus speed, engineering clarity versus showroom hype, and why billions in R&D often get reduced to a single spec that neither salespeople nor buyers truly understand. Let's start with torque. Torque is the raw twisting force an engine produces. Imagine you're trying to push open a heavy door. The shove you apply is torque. In cars, torque is measured in pound-feet or newton-meters. It's what gets the vehicle moving from a stop. It's what lets a truck pull a trailer up a hill. It's what makes an SUV feel strong when you press the accelerator at low speeds. Diesel engines are torque monsters. They produce massive force at low RPMs, which is why they dominate in towing and hauling. Electric vehicles are torque monsters too. Their motors deliver instant torque the moment you touch the pedal. That's why a Tesla feels brutally fast off the line, even if its horsepower rating doesn't look extraordinary. Torque is the shove. It's the muscle. It's the grunt you feel in your chest when a vehicle surges forward. And yet, most buyers never hear about torque in the showroom. Why? Because torque curves are harder to explain. They require context. They require clarity. And clarity doesn't sell brochures. Now let's talk horsepower. Horsepower is not a physical force. It's a calculated value. The formula is simple. Horsepower equals torque times RPM divided by 5252. In plain terms, horsepower measures how quickly an engine can sustain work. It's torque applied over time. Think of it like this. Torque is the shove that gets the heavy door moving. Horsepower is how fast you keep pushing that door open, over and over again. Sports cars thrive on horsepower. They produce high torque at high RPMs, which translates into blistering acceleration and top speed. That's why Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche brag about horsepower numbers. But here's the catch. Horsepower is abstract. You don't feel horsepower directly. You feel torque. Horsepower is the mathematical relationship between torque and RPM. It's a number that looks good in marketing but doesn't always translate into daily driving clarity. And yet, horsepower dominates the conversation. Why? Because it's easy to brag about. It's a headline number. It's a spec that sounds impressive, even if buyers don't understand it. Here's where the irony kicks in. Manufacturers spend billions engineering torque curves, combustion efficiency, hybrid systems, and electric drivetrains. They obsess over balance, durability, and clarity. But when the car reaches the showroom, the salesperson reduces all that brilliance to one number: horsepower. Picture the scene. A buyer walks in. The salesperson says, "This car has 300 horsepower." The buyer nods. Maybe they smile. But inside, they're thinking, "I don't really know what that means." So they ask about the sound system. Does it have Bose? Does it have JBL? How big is the touchscreen? The salesperson shifts gears. They demo the stereo. They show off Apple CarPlay. They brag about leather seats and cup holders. And just like that, billions of dollars in engine R&D vanish from the conversation. The torque curve, the horsepower formula, the engineering clarity, all replaced by lifestyle features. This disconnect is not accidental. It's engineered volatility. Manufacturers know that buyers don't understand torque versus horsepower. They know that lifestyle sells better than clarity. So they let the marketing focus on horsepower numbers and sound systems, while the engineering brilliance stays hidden under the hood. Let's make this practical. Scenario 1. You're towing a boat with a diesel truck. Horsepower doesn't matter here. Torque does. The truck's ability to apply raw force at low RPMs is what gets the boat up the ramp. Scenario 2. You're racing a sports car on the highway. Torque gets you off the line, but horsepower keeps you accelerating at high speeds. That's why sports cars brag about horsepower. It matters in sustained performance. Scenario 3. You're driving an electric vehicle in city traffic. Torque dominates. The instant shove from the motor makes the car feel fast, even if the horsepower rating looks modest. These scenarios show the volatility spectrum. Torque-heavy vehicles thrive in utility. Horsepower-heavy vehicles thrive in performance. EVs disrupt both with instant torque. But here's the clarity payoff. Buyers rarely match their needs to the right spec. They buy SUVs for family use but brag about horsepower. They buy sports cars for speed but don't understand torque. They buy EVs for lifestyle, but don't realize torque is what makes them feel fast. The disconnect is engineered, and it's exactly what Beyond Tech Hype exists to expose. Why does this disconnect persist? Because marketing thrives on illusion. Horsepower is easy to sell. It's a big number. It looks good in ads. It makes buyers feel like they're getting something powerful. Torque is harder to explain. It requires context. It requires clarity. And clarity doesn't sell as easily as hype. So manufacturers let the illusion persist. They spend billions on R&D, but they market horsepower and lifestyle features. Salespeople demo sound systems instead of torque curves. Buyers walk away impressed by Bose speakers instead of combustion efficiency. The result? Engineered clarity gets buried under engineered hype. So here's the takeaway. Torque is the shove. Horsepower is the sprint. Manufacturers engineer both with brilliance. But by the time the car reaches the showroom, the conversation collapses into hype. Salespeople brag about horsepower. Buyers nod politely. Then they ask about sound systems. The irony is staggering. Billions spent on engines, billions spent on torque curves, combustion efficiency, hybrid systems, and electric drivetrains. And yet, the final conversation is about Bose speakers. That's why Beyond Tech Hype exists. To cut through the fuzziness, to expose the disconnect, to reclaim engineered clarity from marketing illusion. Because clarity isn't in the spec sheet. Clarity isn't in the horsepower number. Clarity is in knowing what matters for your drive. Torque moves you. Horsepower keeps you moving fast. And sound systems? Well, they sell cars. This has been Beyond Tech Hype. Engineered clarity. Volatility exposed. Narrative reclaimed.